Beautiful British Columbia, the third largest production center for film in North America, with iconic movies like Rambo, Deadpool, and Rumble in the Bronx, all shot in Vancouver and the surrounding wilderness of the province that is, quite simply, beautiful. With its film industry only growing by the year, BC is aiming to become a bigger and better hub for movie making. But it wasn't always like that. In the 50s and 60s, back when movie making wasn't the billion-dollar industry it is today, BC was seen as unprofitable, a place where movies go to fail, a very scenic place where things fail, but still, it took a surge of artists in the 70s and 80s to bring some culture to the area, show producers that there was more to BC than met the eye, as well as the introduction of several lucrative tax benefits to make it what it is today. One of those artists who always believed in the strength of Canadian identity was Daryl Duke.
Hi, my name is Anne-Marie Decker. I'm the wife of Daryl Duke.
My name is Sunny Wong. I knew Daryl as a friend and a professional in the business of film and television.
Daryl was a filmmaker, a writer, a poet, and he also created an independent television station in Vancouver called CKVU.
I first worked professionally with Daryl when I started or co-founded the Leo Awards, and we put together a board. And of course, the first person we called to join the board was none other than Daryl Duke. He also won the very first Outstanding Achievement Award for the Leo Awards. No better person than Daryl in his innovative ways. He really forged a path for film and television in British Columbia and Canada, and I dare say throughout North America as well.
He was very much an activist. He always believed that if you saw something that was wrong, you should speak up. But speak up not in a sense of complaining, but speak up and see if you could come up with answers. His mind was always working. It was always in overdrive. He created a lot of shows, but out of that, he also did a lot of documentaries for CBC and traveled through BC quite a bit, and later on through Alberta and Saskatchewan. And he saw how people lived, and he felt he needed to express himself, to give them a voice.
He was willing to tread into areas, into subject matters that may not have been popular at the time, but they were deeply meaningful and important. So, the owl, I heard the owl call my name. He looked at Indigenous cultures during a time when people were relegating Indigenous people to the rubbish heap of humanity, ignoring them and really denigrating them as second-rate citizens. But he didn't. He recognized the value of people, he recognized the value of humanity, and he's willing to go there to give people a voice where previously they may not have had that voice.
The one film that has still an impact is I Heard the Owl Call My Name. He understood already the Indigenous people, and so he wanted to make sure that they were portrayed properly, that they weren't just, sort of they were second-class citizens, but he didn't want to show that as such. And he wanted to stay true to the story, because the book, I Heard the Owl Call My Name, was widely read. So he wanted to really make sure that the story was told properly.
When you think about the contributions that he's made to the industry, it's such a volume of work. His body of work was so vast. You can argue there are others that have a lot of work and have done as much, if not more. But I tell you what made Daryl so unique is he had no fear.
When he worked for the CBC and did all sorts of different shows, the Parliament called him certain names because they did not like what he stood for. And he didn't care. Sometimes for documentaries, there might be people who might like it, might not like some of his movies, like when he did Taipan, for instance, in China, which was the first Western film that was shot after the Cultural Revolution, people hated it. But Silent Partner he was compared to Alfred Hitchcock. So who knows how people would react.
Well, I think there's one part of Daryl that I wish we as a society can capture, because I think it deserves to be captured and to live on. And that is, how do we know how to describe it? But it's that character that Daryl manifested, that sense of what's meaningful for society, that ability, and the ability, probably more importantly, to articulate it. I can't think of anybody that has that same quality. So if we can, bottle it and sell it and promote it, it would be great.
Okay, because you can edit that all
Yeah,
out anyways. Yeah.
We're gonna have lots of B footage to come away to.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Which is true, which is nice, because then you have voiceover for that as well. Okay, shall we start again?
Okay.
Clap.